Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more Call of Duty news here at Esports Talk, guys. Breaking down 8 roster rumors as of right now. Most teams have still not confirmed their starting 5 alongside their substitute players. There's going to be breaking news here probably all week long over the next few weeks, so I hope you guys all do enjoy this Call of Duty news. We're going to break down those 8 rosters so far, name those players, and some thoughts on those teams as well. Speaking of which, let's roll into our first topic though. I think most importantly, we'll talk about the new LA OpTic and their roster in a few minutes, guys. The biggest signing as of yesterday though in terms of team management, that's going to be new general manager of that Call of Duty team over there, Muddawg, leaving 100 Thieves for OpTic Gaming. Now, first of all, I do want to note, this is a huge signing, a great signing. You can only imagine what it probably took to have Muddawg leave 100 Thieves, a growing esports brand, one of the fastest ones as well, for the Call of Duty team for OpTic Gaming. One of the most controversial names heading into CWL franchising has to be the new OpTic. The green wall is seemingly dead as well, and that backlash, well, it was persistent throughout that video, throughout the Twitter announcement. If you guys go through Twitter replies, Muddawg and company are receiving tons of backlash, which he was prepared for. I think this was a very well-spoken video, a very well-done video as well. I'll link down below for all of you guys, and I'm super excited to see what he can do from being head of esports at 100 Thieves to leaving to being the GM of Call of Duty alone. It's great to see a former pro player return to his profession at the OpTic Gaming, new OpTic Gaming, new green wall, whatever he does want to call it, and he openly admits he cannot fill the shoes he is trying to go into as of right now. He openly says, guys, the history of OpTic will probably never be the same, but he's going to try his darndest to give them a championship level Call of Duty team, and I will not fault him at all for that. I'm excited to see what he can do with his new roster, which I am very hyped for. On my list of the 8 so far, they are one of the better looking rosters, I would say, and with the addition of him, I think it's great. It's really crazy to see a guy like that leave 100 Thieves and take a risk on OpTic, and so I will give him respect where respect is due, and the dislikes keep on pouring in. Well, it's not going to be from me. I really like the move itself. It takes a lot of courage to do what he did, and I'm excited to see what Muddawg can do with that roster. So that was the biggest announcement of yesterday. Let's break it down though for all of you guys. Let's start off with Atlanta. First of all, they've also signed their coach, that being Crowder, one of the few confirmed coaches or even rumored coaches out there so far, and I think an excellent choice for Atlanta as we also work on the rumored roster on screen for all of you guys. But still, either way, I am super glad Crowder got signed, and I cannot wait to see what he does with that roster, which is, as rumored, going to be one of the best. They land a Simp, apparently a BZ Priesta alongside Major Maniac and Celium, one of the first leaked rosters we actually heard about as well on top of all of that, and still a very hyped up roster on paper, looking very solid. And again, with Crowder, I really do think of all the teams out there, Atlanta has to be at least in the top half of these 8 so far. Now we go on to Chicago, one of the more hyped up squads as well. Alongside that, I've talked a lot about NRG. They of course acquire Hector. With that, we do have Scump and apparently Formal hinting at some things, and they should be on this roster. Now who joins them though might be a bit of a surprise. It might not be. Either way though, I think in terms of hyped up rosters, this might be one of the biggest ones out there. We take Scump, we take Formal. Alongside them, we also do have apparently Gunless, Arcides, and Envoy dropping that roster as well. And we're not going to know substitute players for probably a few weeks, maybe a couple weeks. At this point in time, who knows when players will be announced. But I will have to say, of the 8 teams so far, Atlanta alongside Chicago and RG, they got to be, again, I'm an NA fanboy though, but to me at least, probably some of the more hyped up rosters. But boy, oh boy, when we go to Dallas, guys, it was a big surprise. Now, we've had these rumored rosters thanks to COD Intel for quite some time now. A few changes here and there. We'll talk about Florida next. When it comes to Dallas, though, at least it's envy. My NA fanboy prowess continues here because I'm very excited for the roster. You have 2 veterans, Clayster and Crimsix, trying to lead the kids of the group, that being average age of just 18 years across Shotzi, Illy, alongside Hook. We knew Hook would probably be staying. It still looks like, and a lot of these rosters do look very solid. It's going to be tough to really compare all of them until we actually see gameplay in the future here as the season does approach. Either way though, it's kind of funny to see older guys trying. We'll see how they coach these young guns in it. We'll see how Crimsix can handle these young guns and how talkative they might be. Either way though, Dallas, envy. I gotta be excited for Hastro and the boys. Now speaking next though for Florida, a bit of a surprise turn up here. Havoc is now replaced, I believe, Apathy on the original group. Apathy was trolling us alongside Censor. I'm not gonna get, you know what, COD guys love to troll me. I fall for clips now and again. If you guys did not see my recent recent video. I thought Sensor and Apathy would be teaming in Florida. It seems like neither of them are going to be in Florida as well. This roster, though, still looks very solid. They do land Mox, one of the guys I'm still very high on and very hyped for this upcoming season. Alongside him will also be surprises here and there, but also a lot of this list was already confirmed. Skies, Frosty, Pristini, and apparently Havoc might be rounding out the group on top of that down in Florida. For Misfits, you guys can leave your thoughts about them in the comment section. A bit of swapping back and forth as we head to London, though. I still think of all the hype teams out there, not in North America, I will be a London fan, and you guys can probably assume why. That being Scraps, alongside our first announcement with him, that being Wuskin. I'm a big fan of Scraps and his personality. I think he'll bring a lot of personality to this team. Can he lead this team is a giant question, which the rest of them will be. As I said before, Wuskin alongside him, potentially going to be Jerd and Rated, and one of the few not so confirmed rosters out there. I still think a pretty solid start to it. And when it comes to personality players out there, London already has hype behind it in the Call of Duty scene. This just adds to that. I'm super excited to see who will round out their finalized roster. And finally, we get to the beloved roster, guys. That's going to be the new OpTic. I've already had a giant question, probably a video coming sometime in the future. Will you guys cheer for the new OpTic? Because they will nail down, supposedly, as rumored before, and now kind of re-rumored, continuing before we actually get all these rosters finalized. That's TJ and Dashy, the young guns, the pair. We knew they'd probably be sticking together, and this roster rounded out. It's pretty insane. I'm not going to lie to you guys. When they land a guy like Slasher alongside JCap and Kenny to round it out, JCap seemingly was a potential for a lot of rosters out there. Some people surprised by that. I think a great fit to any addition, any team out there. When it comes to hyped rosters, looking very solid rosters, if the potential is fully, I guess you could say, filled by these players and they actually live up to expectations, I would say it comes down to, at least for me, teams I'll be looking at, especially off the bat. We got Atlanta, we got Chicago, we got London alongside this roster in LA. This roster looks absolutely deadly. I'm excited to see what Muddawg can do with these guys. LA OpTic, will you cheer for them? I don't know if it's going to matter or not because Muddawg says he has a championship level team, and I think I believe him here. And then very lastly, for all of you guys, New York's going to be apparently Accuracy, Temp, Attach, Zuma, and Zero. Glad to see the double Z's actually grabbing spots. I was a bit worried about Zuma there for a bit, but glad he did join the spot. And a reminder as well, there's so many free agents out there still unsigned, and so it's going to get very hectic around here. If you guys want to leave your thoughts down below in the comment section, it always helps me kind of see a general gist. You know, what are your top rosters? What rosters do you think so far look the best, look the worst, the most concerning? You know, what do you think about the coaches signed so far? So I always love reading your guys' thoughts because there are so many, especially with all of these different combinations of players. Who knows what to exactly expect when it comes time for CWL. Very lastly, guys, for all of you, of the rumored rosters, and a lot of these have not been fully confirmed. Keep in mind, most rosters have not been confirmed as well, but they are pretty solidified rumors thanks to COD Intel. That's going to be Seattle. Surprise, surprise, we got some movers out there. That's going to be Karma's home. Alongside him, though, apparently is going to be Octane, Enable, alongside Slacked and Apathy. You little dirty devil. You told me Florida and you go across the country all the way to Pacific Northwest. What do you... Okay, either way, Seattle, guys, could be a very cool spot for those boys to actually rain their days out. We'll see how those older timers do, at least when it comes to a guy like Karma. I like the roster, but there's not many rosters out there that I'm questioning as of right now until we know the full 5 plus their subs. What do you guys think? It's hectic. And I guess we could touch on the right side thumbnail as well, guys. Notable COD Intel points here. We definitely have the likes of Sensor, who could end up in Paris, apparently. That's pretty surprising. I really have talked probably too much about him for you guys to like me talking about him any longer. Toronto has a pretty interesting looking roster, still unconfirmed on that. Minnesota, I would say of all the teams so far, looks relatively incomplete. And that was one of the teams and organizations I was worried about going into this in terms of esports experience, the personnel they have. That's no bash at them, guys. I have little esports experience too, so take my word with a grain of salt. When it comes to looking for rosters, though, that are complete, they certainly are one of them, are not one of them right now. But as always, my name is Jake, breaking down Call of Duty, other esports news here every single day. Thank you to all of you guys who have been liking, subscribing, commenting. Thanks to a lot of you guys who have actually been sending me DMs with stories. You guys are absolutely great. It makes my job a lot easier to cover the news for all of you. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves, okay? Take all this information in, all right? And maybe give your thoughts down below. We can all share our thoughts and feelings about this emotional time in Call of Duty. Until next time, I'll see you guys back here sometime soon. Bye!